Recording and then I'll go live. Just going to go live on Facebook. Just give me a moment. I'm going to go to my wall and we're going to call this a new paradigm of education.
How do you go live on Facebook?
You just click on the bottom of your Zoom. There's like a little drop down thing and it says go live and you just click on it.
On the video?
Yeah, on the screen of Zoom. Hang on, it's about to go live. I'll just I'll tell you when we're on, okay? Okay,
I don't see it.
Yeah, I'll show you after if you like. Okay, so we're about to go live on Facebook. How exciting. I never know when it's actually live because it always takes like 30 extra seconds. I think we're on, Janet. Yes, we're on Facebook. Okay, so here we go. So, well, today we are meeting with Dr. Janet Fine, or Dr. Janet Veer Fine, I should say, and myself, Monique Sayers. We're talking about our book that's being released on the 9th of October, which is called A New Paradigm of Education. It's something that's very, very special in my heart to be able to be creating this for the students of this world. It's just so necessary at this time. So before we get started, maybe we could hear a little bit about your background, Janet. So how long you've been teaching, or a little bit about your story about yourself.
Well, thank you. And Monique, thank you for birthing this idea and including me to be a part of it. It's such an honor. And I'm really glad in such a full-hearted way that I accepted that challenge to go ahead and step into the process. And, you know, anytime we are involved in a collaboration, it just becomes a beautiful, energetic effort.
It really
so
does.
I'm so happy to be a part of it. And my background as far as teaching is really what I wrote my chapter on. You know, it's sort of that history of what inspired me to become a teacher from the start. And how when I was in high school, I had this big aha moment that I didn't think I was really learning anything. Yet I saw that there were some new paradigms of education then, where people were wanting to put out this like radical approach to education and to try things differently. So I jumped into that as a young adult and said, yes, this is learning. And, you know, then also found out about Montessori and had an opportunity as a parent to homeschool my kids, my two sons, and created my own homeschool. And I had also created a preschool prior to that. And, you know, so I followed along in very alternative ways. And even my own educational process as I became an educator and got advanced degrees, I did that in a very unconventional way. So it was creating my own curriculum, finding my own mentors and teachers, and it was very non-traditional.
Yes, I loved learning about you, Janet, and your story. And I'm sure everybody's going to really appreciate the history of it and also the relevance of it today. It's still very, very relevant with what is a new paradigm and what the world is needing at this time with the changes in the educational system. This is the rise of a new, kind of like the ending of the old and a rise of the new, right? It's a new paradigm.
Yes, and it's taken such a long time to get here because, you know, I was young when I started out with those thoughts thinking, oh, this is going to change in just a few years. And here it is many, many, many years later. So I'm so grateful to you for kind of carrying that torch forward, and all the people in your generation. And one thing that I learned in Native American teachings is that everything that we do right now in this moment today is affecting our children's children's children, for
Mm,
7 generations to come. So even though
wow.
to me it seems like a long time coming, it's coming. It's still in progress, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And our tagline is about the generations. And I had a few
Mhm.
educators say, how can you impact generations? And I said, how can you not? How can you only impact one? It doesn't make sense to me. What we're doing now is the generations and the next and the next. And that's what's needed. The more people that are making a change, the more radical the change is for the future, you know?
Absolutely.
I can share my
So
chapter a little if you want, or
I'd love to.
yeah, so my chapter, in case anyone out there is curious, is it's about awakening. So my journey as myself as a teacher started out with me kind of I don't know, not having confidence, feeling a bit of anxiety, but still loving the children, but kind of just having chaos everywhere. And as I deepened in myself and I became more peaceful with myself as my own awakening came through, what I noticed was the energy of the students was matching mine, and it was just calm and joyous and beautiful. And so my story is really about just the impact of how having inner peace within ourselves is so important to be able to
Hmm.
give to our students. And I believe that that is the seed of the new paradigm that is necessary for this world at the moment, especially with a lot of the anxiety and trauma and learning difficulties that are out there. So I feel really passionate to share my story. And yeah, it was such a process, like you're saying, Janet, to go kind of deep into your history of yourself as a teacher, and then to kind of be able to lead that out to people in a way that is going to help people as well, that they can connect with us. So
Right, because we're growing and developing as we're continuing to teach. And, no matter what stage or age of student that I have, I'm still continuing my own learning and growing and developing too. That never stops. Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. And you also have had a background with college students as well. Did you want to share a little bit about that?
I have. I feel like I kind of followed my own sons as they were advancing. Then I started going back to school myself and got advanced degrees that allowed me to teach at the college level by the time they were in college. And I think my favorite place to teach, favorite stage of the whole process is the master's student, because they are so enthralled with learning, and they are there because they want to be there. They're not there because they don't know what to do after high school, or that someone put them into that situation. And they're there just totally by their own choice, their own desire, that innate sense of learning. So I
Mm,
really love that exploration and the curiosity of, almost the child's mind again to learning. They're like
mm.
sponges that just want to take it up, as younger children were. I really loved when I taught preschool and kindergarten too. But
Mm.
I think for me, as I grew and went, kind of moved away from that, it would be really hard to go back to that today. I
Yeah,
don't know if I have that patience that I did at that time.
yeah. And what you just shared about the college students, it made me feel like, imagine if that was the same also for the primary school students, that there was that freedom and that choice, and that sense of being able to kind of explore what they want to explore, what you were just
Yes,
sharing, that just, yeah, stemmed something in me. I feel like keeping it
very much
short,
so.
maybe not too long for everybody who's listening. But
Right.
was there anything else we should share before we wrap
I
up
think
for today?
No, just to encourage you all to read the book, because there's amazing stories, just kind of like ours. This is just the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah, we've got 8 stories there. We've got interviews, the back and forth interviews from each author, plus there's also resources as well. And there's also engagement for the reader as well. We offer you the chance to answer the same questions that I've interviewed each of the authors with, because I really actually want to know what you believe is a new paradigm and what we're going to do to make a change. It's all good to say it, but what are we actually going to do to actually make this change
Right.
happen? So yeah, so lovely to
Thank
meet with you,
you.
Janet.
Thank you for this opportunity again.
Yeah.
Monique is all about opportunity and creating that bridge. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Janet. Namaste.
Namaste.